I want to thank you and Wistron, our partner and friend for over 2 decades.
Yep.
We started this AI journey with your friendship and building these incredible systems. Because of AI's build out, the largest infrastructure build out in human history, the Taiwan ecosystem and industries and companies are doing incredibly well.
Yep.
Taiwan may be United States' 4th largest trading partner,
yeah.
but Taiwan is my largest trading partner. And so, as the largest company in the world, Taiwan is my largest trading partner. And also, my very first meeting with President Trump, he told me in his administration he would like to reindustrialize the United States.
Yes, yes.
He would like to expand the manufacturing capacity and to increase jobs in the United States, to reshore the supply chain so that we have a resilient supply chain. Without the partnership of Taiwan, without the partnership of TSMC and Wistron, we wouldn't be able to do what we are doing today. So for that, I'm incredibly grateful. Manufacturing is an essential pillar for every economy and every country. And manufacturing jobs, as you know, in the United States in the last couple of years has now practically increased several million people. Building chip plants, packaging plants, computer system plants like this, and of course AI data centers and AI factories all over the United States is allowed the United States to really reindustrialize the United States for the first time in a long time. It's creating jobs in plumbing, construction, manufacturing, of course, and electricians, and so many different types of jobs here in the United States. And in fact, we have so few ourselves that you've imported many from Taiwan to help us. If you go to Arizona today, Arizona looks like Taipei, because all of the great cuisines of Taipei are now in Arizona.
You can see
I would not be surprised, ma'am, that Dallas-Fort Worth is going to have some of the best beef noodle soups in all of America. Okay, and so all of you here helping start the manufacturing capability here in the United States, and your partnership and your investment, really valuable to us, and I want to be thankful. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that I have some questions to ask Jensen to steal a lot of things from his brand, and then there's know the world better. Can we just sit? Yeah.
We were safe for standing. Just
anything
can happen now.
This is okay.
Anything can happen.
Well, let me start with the. If we're looking forward for the next 5-10 years, then how do you envision the global AI landscape, evolving? Particularly, we are now talking about the transition from data center to AI factories.
What Simon just said is really important to observe. The data centers of the past were called data centers because they store pre-recorded information. We would take pictures, we would take videos, we would type down stories, we'd describe the news, and we would store it in data center files. And then when somebody calls upon it on a phone, it would retrieve the information and present it to you on a phone. And so that retrieval-based computing model is now being replaced by a generative model where we generate intelligence based on your question. So instead of doing search, we now just ask it a question, and it would go off and do the search. It would read the stories. It would reason about what best way to present the answer to you. Maybe it even writes a story, generates an image, creates a table, right? And answers you according to what is the nature of your question. And so it applies intelligence. That intelligence has to be processed mathematically in a neural network in a machine that's back there. That's the GB300, the most powerful AI supercomputer in the world. It has 1.5 million parts inside. These robots have to assemble 1.5 million parts. It's 2 tons, $4 million, and we're producing them, like phones, and right here in Wistron. And so we crank it out in volume because the world needs all of these machines to drive the intelligence infrastructure. AI is highly misunderstood. People see AI, the user interface of AI, of course, is the chatbot, the web browser, that website. However, inside, it's important to realize AI is actually a whole new industry. AI is incredibly important to the energy industry. Look at all of the energy stocks. Look at the energy companies. They're all doing incredibly well. This is the first time in human history where we could invest in sustainable energy without contribution from the government, without subsidies, because the market dynamic itself would invest in sustainable energy. We can upgrade the power grid. All of that possible because of the market above has the incredible capacity to fund it. So the energy level is being reinvented. The chip industry, of course, as you know, we don't have nearly enough chips in this future of generative computing. Retrieval computing, it was about the right size, growing about 25% per year. All of a sudden, we need supercomputers between you and the file that's in the data center. And so the amount of chips that we need probably increased by 10 times. That's the next layer. The layer above that is infrastructures, data centers. This is the new factory. This is the new factory of the future. And these factories, the modern versions of them are incredibly energy efficient. It's sustainable. It barely uses as much water as a swimming pool. All of the water is recirculated through passive energy and thermal cooling systems. And so all of the liquid is recirculated. None is lost. And so these modern factories are incredibly sustainable, incredibly energy efficient, and is good for the environment. And of course, what creates around it is large amounts of jobs. It's now created several million manufacturing jobs, construction jobs, electrician jobs. The above that is where the AI model is. That's the layer that everybody sees. But the most important layer, ultimately, is how the AI technology, the AI models are diffused into all of the industries, right? Healthcare and transportation and manufacturing and finances and health, education and scientific research. All of the different diffusion of the technology into the industries. That's ultimately where the big win is. And so AI is every aspect of that, and we're in the middle of transforming it all.
So when you talk about token, actually AI factory manufacture tokens. Now token become a huge industry already. People, spend money to use, hundreds of thousands of tokens, and they really enjoyed it, right? My second question is, when we move into...
And it's so strange. We say tokens has value, and most people have a hard time understanding that. The tokens, so what comes out of that machine is trillions and trillions of tokens. And these are numbers. We call them tokens, but they're basically numbers. These numbers become words. It becomes poetry. It becomes answer to your questions. It becomes an image, songs. It could write whatever you want it to be. And so it's generating all of this content. It's not illogical that tokens have value. And in fact, humanity is largely token driven today. When you watch Netflix, every one of those pixels came from a token. That number, we paid, this weekend I paid $24.99 for a movie. And I don't know how that translates to, a few billion tokens. And I enjoyed it. Okay. So humanity is largely driven by tokens today. And now we have tokens that are not movies. We have tokens that's intelligence.
Okay.
Very simple idea.
My second question is, when we are moving to an era that the AI adopting and also the computing intensity are scaling up exponentially, how this will, shape the future industries?
Well, every single company will be a technology company in the future.
Yeah.
So today, a law firm is low CapEx.
Mm-hmm.
The only energy they need is coffee and hamburgers, right? And so they use calories to translate into intelligence. In the future, it will be a higher CapEx industry.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just give you an example of a very small industry, legal. Yeah. And so in the future, their intelligence will be combination of hamburgers and coffee and electricity.
Okay.
And those electricity will generate tokens, which will be part of their intelligence.
Yes.
Every single industry in the world is based on, fundamentally grounded on intelligence.
Yeah.
The financial services, the insurance industry, the healthcare industry, you name it. Every single industry is grounded on intelligence. That intelligence can no longer be produced by cows and grass alone. Okay? Cow and corn. Steaks will still be extremely important. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Especially here in Texas.
Yeah.
And so we'll still need lots of cows and corn, but it'll be augmented by tokens.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it from that perspective, you now realize just as agriculture is a fundamental infrastructure of society, in the future, these AI factories will be a fundamental infrastructure of society. It's a very sensible thing. Doesn't it make sense?
Yeah.
Today we have roads and agriculture and railroads. In the future, we'll have AI factories and the internet. Electricity comes in, it's get manufactured and the tokens get generated in the factories, and when it gets sent out, it comes out on the internet. Just like we have railroads bring, whatever food for the cattle. The cattle produces, steaks, and the steaks get shipped out on the roads. It's the exact same idea.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be a whole new layer of society.
Yeah.
It will be applied to every single industry. It will be a new layer of CapEx.
Yes.
It's a new layer of CapEx. It's a new layer of industry. Okay. And this layer of industry, this layer of CapEx is probably trillions of dollars.
Yeah, so actually it impacts almost all the industry.
Every single industry.
In the future.
Everybody needs intelligence. Yeah. Everything is built on intelligence.
Yeah. And then how the communities can take the advantage of their unique culture, intelligence, to build a better AI system.
Everybody should use, every company, every society, every country should use off-the-shelf intelligence whenever they can.
Okay.
Whenever you can, watch a Hollywood movie. We need it. That's right. So whenever you can, off-the-shelf movies, off-the-shelf intelligence, off-the-shelf music. Mm-hmm. But whenever you must or you desire, create your own.
Yes.
No country can outsource its intelligence.
Good.
No company can outsource all of its intelligence.
And also culture.
No society can outsource its culture.
Yes.
You cannot take your culture, your intelligence of your country, your company, yourself, and think that you can outsource all of it. You want to import as much intelligence as possible.
Yeah.
You want to import as much culture as possible. You want to import as much knowledge as you can, but you also want to generate your own.
Yes.
And you have to cultivate your own.
You cannot outsource that.
That's right.
That's important.
That's why we need closed models. Off-the-shelf closed models, but we also need open models.
Open models.
Every single country, every single company, we need closed and open models.
Yeah, this is
you cannot be deprived of either one.
Yeah, this is a very good lesson to all the communities and countries. I think today we have very short time, but I believe that when we talk to Jensen, he always gives us the vision that from the macro view of the whole AI will evolve to the whole industry, then narrow down to community and countries. It's a great vision. I think that we're going to enjoy the next era of AI life. I hope that we will be more happier and more healthy. Thank you, Jensen.
We will be happier. We will be healthier.
Thank you.
Simon, thank you for your partnership. Thank you, Wistron. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.